Sometimes we just need to indulge 1,000 times. Sometimes we need to stuff our faces, right? Over and over and over and over again. We need to reach for that quick pleasure thousands of times before we learn that that's not the answer. The chronic indulgence, right? Chronically indulging, and reaching, escaping. It's not the answer. And it's so difficult to actually experience that when everything around you is telling you that more is better. But chronic more is not better. And what are all the ways that we can indulge? Food, entertainment, sleep, right? Staying up late again, not getting up in the morning again, relationships, sex, okay? I don't know what leaves you feeling more empty than just a sexual one-time hookup. Like, there's no depth there. Like, why am I doing that, right? Why would I do that? Doesn't make sense. There's an emptiness in the chronic indulgence, right? There's a lack of depth in these things. And one of the interesting questions is, where does that tipping point lie, right? Where does that tipping point lie for people? How many times do we need to indulge in something before we make that switch? We're like, that's not it. And it doesn't have to be a cold turkey thing, right? It's not like, okay, I learned, done. But where does that actually come in, right? Because in my opinion, there needs to be an experience. There needs to be a point of reference on the other side of it, right? If you've always indulged, you have no idea what that could look like on the other side, okay? If you flipped it. So where does that, how does that learning process work? How does that learning process work? And a story about an experience with me, I had this point over the past few months here, and I know a lot of people can relate to this, pretty much everyone. Watching YouTube or, watching TV while you're eating, some form of entertainment while you're eating, like, that sounds like a good time. But I got to this point where I would be on my computer eating my meals, and it would just be like a stimulating overload, right? Like day after day after day after day after day, thousands of times, right? And eventually I was just like, okay, there's this mental chaos that I feel when I eat my meals and I break my fast, and I'm just like mentally kind of off the hook, from just neurotically clicking through YouTube videos. So the one day I'm like, okay. I go outside, right? I sit down on my table outside and I just eat my meals. And the first couple times I did that, it's like my mind didn't know what to do, right? There was no YouTube video indulgence. There wasn't that stimulating, right? Always clicking and reaching and watching and consuming. It was just me sitting outside eating my meals undistracted, and my mind could just unwind, unravel, right? Just unravel. And wow, like the unraveling during those first few days was really interesting, very peaceful. And it comes back to that internal sense of like, this is in alignment. This is correct. This is very natural. And it seems like when we're truly fed up, right? When we're truly fed up with those times of just chronically indulging, always reaching, when that time comes, that's when we make the switch, right? That's when we make that switch. But hey, maybe that time isn't now. Okay? That's fine. Maybe you need to keep indulging. And that's not even like a dig, right? Maybe you just need to keep indulging. Maybe you're at number 998, right? Maybe you just need a couple more indulgences to make that flip, to be fed up with it. Because that's how it works, you know? With many things I've done, I've had to indulge thousands of times to just be absolutely fed up and to reach that tipping point. It's like, this isn't serving me. This isn't natural. This doesn't feel right. And maybe when you do make that switch, maybe you need to fall back into the trap a couple different times, right? That's a part of it too. That's the part of the learning process, right? Now, do I still watch YouTube videos when I eat sometimes? Yeah. But I have that point of reference now. You know, I know I know what's in alignment with me. But hey, maybe you'll make that switch. Maybe you'll fall back into the trap one or two times. And you'll just learn from it. Right? Nothing to be ashamed of there. If you need to keep indulging, do it. If you don't want to keep indulging, do it. You know? It was a very freeing thing that I heard from Alan Watts. It was like, if you're feeling anxious, okay, feel anxious. If you're worrying, worry. If you feel at peace, man. It is what it is.